Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today we are taking out the trash. Here I have a year's worth of empties. These are all of the products I finished completely in 2020. I started doing this 2 years ago, back in 2019, so I only have one full year to compare, but I noticed a huge difference between my 2019 empties and my 2020 empties. So we're going to talk about it, and I will of course go through each of these items and share whether or not I would repurchase again. So let's get started. It's oddly satisfying to dump the entire bag, so I'm going to go ahead and separate everything by category. I always recommend saving your empties for a year, maybe 6 months, just to get a good idea of the products you actually go through. Not just the products you think you're going to use up, but the products you will use up. It's great information to have when deciding what to shop for in the future, what you should save your money on, or things to look out for. Since my makeup collection grew so much last year, I was trying so many new things all the time, I didn't use up quite as much as I did the year before, but here is what I have. The biggest difference I notice when I look over my 2020 empties and compare to 2019 is that no, I didn't go through quite as much makeup, but I think I went through way more skincare last year, which does of course make sense when we think of 2020 as a whole. Less date nights, less trips and traveling, less events. I was mainly doing my makeup for YouTube, but I was really concentrating on my skincare, going through every single step and never skipping a product because I had far more time at home. So I don't think I'll be alone there. I still have about the same amount of empty foundations. I believe I have 7 empty foundations this year, and that's about right. I'm always going through foundations, which is why whenever a new formula is released, I never have a problem testing out new foundations. I'm constantly trying to find the best formulas, and it's a product that I do go through. I'm constantly having to restock anyways. Only one concealer. I know in 2019 I used up several concealers. I think there were so many new concealers launched last year that I just didn't have a chance to go through quite as many. Not as many mascaras. In 2019, I think I had 5 or 6, maybe more empty mascaras. In 2020, I only have 3 empty mascaras. Lip products. In 2019, I went through a handful of lip glosses, no lipsticks, no lip liners, nothing else, but I did go through some lip glosses. Well, in 2020, much to my horror and surprise, when I dumped this bag out as I was getting ready to film, 0 lip products. None. Not a single lip product in my 2020 empties, which is shocking and horrifying because I spend so much money on lipsticks and I love trying new lip products, testing new formulas, new shades. But I just don't go through them, and that is a waste of money. So that is something that I'm keeping on my radar. And going forward in 2021, I'm probably going to really reel it back in terms of spending on lip products. Now let's talk about all of these empties that we do have here. I'm going to go through each item, share my final thoughts and review, and tell you whether or not it's something I would repurchase, something I still recommend. And I'm going to begin with makeup. So this is an item that I use as a primer. It's really more of a skincare item. It's kind of a skincare makeup hybrid. This is the Dior Dream Skin, and I want to say this is maybe my 2nd or 3rd bottle of Dream Skin. I love it. I highly recommend. This is something that I would absolutely repurchase. I need to take an inventory of similar products in my collection because I know I have a couple things now that are sort of like Dream Skin. Nothing can really compare to Dream Skin, but I want to be smart with my money in 2021. It helps even out your skin tone. It helps with fine lines, wrinkles. It has anti-aging skincare, so the results are going to be cumulative. Your skin's going to look better the more you use Dream Skin, but it's also that instant perfector beneath makeup. I have 7 foundation empties from 2020, including these 2 foundation balms. So here I have the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric High Coverage Foundation Balm and the Kevyn Aucoin Foundation Balm. In this I used shade 5. This was a medium FB 7.5. I remember thinking this was a little bit too light. This one was a little bit too dark. Of the 2, I definitely prefer the Kevyn Aucoin formula. In fact, this Armani Compact was not my favorite. It was okay. It was so-so. I used it up because I just was trying to get rid of it, and there isn't a ton of product in here. This has 9 grams of product. This has 22.3 grams of product. You'd never guess, based on the exterior packaging, that this has more than double the amount of product you get in this compact. But I guess this has room for a little sponge. Kind of emphasized everything, just wasn't really great. The Kevyn Aucoin I didn't mind. I actually liked this foundation. It wasn't something that I was using simply to get rid of it, but it was still not my favorite foundation in my entire collection. Is this something that I would replace? Probably not, simply because I've tried so many other similar foundations now, stick foundations, that I think have that same convenience factor, but they just look so much better on the skin. I used up this Benefit Hello Happy Air Stick foundation. This I had in the shade 5. This is sort of similar to those foundation balms. It's something that I would generally use on a daily basis whenever I wasn't filming, or I would just use it for touch-up. I wanted to just kind of go through it. I wasn't using it because I loved it. And as much as I didn't mind the look of this foundation stick, now that I've discovered the Huda Beauty foundation stick, there would be no reason for me to replace this because that is the best stick foundation. I have 4 liquid foundations here. 2 of them are from Charlotte Tilbury. So I went through a bottle of the Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I used the shade 6 Neutral, as well as the Magic Foundation. I have shade 6.75 Medium. I went through both of these. I really love both of these. I don't think I need to replace any of these right now. Actually, I have a backup of this one, thankfully, because this is my favorite of the 2. But I really see no reason to replace this Magic Foundation. It's medium coverage, it's sort of natural matte. I think I have a couple foundations right now in my current collection that would perform the exact same way as this. I also finished 2 of my favorites. Here I have Dior Air Flash and the Chanel Ultra Le Tint. I love this foundation. This might be my favorite Chanel foundation formula. It's in the same category, I would say, as the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless. It's kind of medium, full coverage, very glam, natural matte finish, long wearing, no SPF, so it's great for brides, photo shoots. I know I'm going to replace this foundation, it's just a matter of when. I want to go through some of my foundations first, but this is right there at the top of the list because it is so perfect for me and my preferences. And then Dior Air Flash, I think I already have maybe 2 bottles of this in my collection, so there's no reason for me to replace it. But yes, I highly recommend both of these. These are 2 of my favorite foundations. I would say these are 2 of the best luxury foundations available. I only have 1 concealer empty from 2020, and this is the Corrector de Chanel in 10 Beige. I love this concealer. It became one of my all-time favorites. Whenever I use this with the Sisley Eye Contour Mask, it is perfection. So many concealers launched last year that I have so many. I really built up my collection, so I want to go through some of those first. But if I had to choose maybe a top 3 favorites, I would say the Pat McGrath Labs. I really like the Clé de Peau Concealing Pen, and I really like this. This is a great medium to full coverage concealer option. Really beautiful. I have 2 setting powders, 3 bronzers, no blushes or highlighters, but I always have a nice chunk of complexion products, so I feel less guilty about purchasing so many throughout the year. This first one is sort of random. It's an Anna Sui powder. It came with this bright white setting powder that I just would kind of use in the T-zone, use it to touch up, to brighten the under eye. Not my favorite powder, but still really nice. I also used up my Luminous Le Beige in the shade Light. I'm kind of afraid, I'm afraid to open. Once I used most of the powder, it became one of those broken crescent moon shapes, and then it just became a disaster to use. I still have some powder crumbles left over. I don't want them to spill everywhere, but you get the point. It's an empty compact. I'm just gonna go ahead and close that down. I love the Luminous Le Beige. I will absolutely replace this at some point. Once I go through some of my other powders, this is one of my favorite compacts. I love the Le Beige. And I prefer the luminous version. There's not a huge difference. I don't think it gives you too much glow, so you might as well have a little luminosity versus the original, which is just a sheer setting powder. I also finished my Luminous Le Beige in the shade Medium, so this is what I was using as a bronzer. I didn't have the same crumbling problem as I had with the Light Le Beige, so I can open this one up safely. You can see there's a tiny bit left. If I wanted to really scrape this outer ring, I could, but it's pretty rock solid. It's safe to just go ahead and move on to another bronzer. This medium shade was perfect whenever I didn't sunless tan and I just wanted a little hint of color. So when I do replace this, I'll probably go for the medium deep, something a little bit darker than this one. But I love this luminously beige. Right now I'm still using the Sunset bronzer from Chanel that launched last summer. Basically the same powder, it just has a little bit more color payoff. My other two bronzer empties from 2020 are these right here, starting with the Guerlain Terracotta Light. I already replaced this because this is one of my favorite bronzers. I think I did end up going with a different shade. This is the Light 03 Natural Warm. I think I picked up the 04 this time. But still really beautiful, definitely something I would recommend. Guerlain makes some of the best bronzers. I think these belong in any luxury makeup collection, so it's something that I will always have on hand. I just have to have a Guerlain bronzer. So I'm really happy with these Terracotta Light bronzers. And then this one is definitely surprising because the packaging is huge. This is the NARS Laguna. It's just this limited edition Paradise Found packaging that they launched over the summer. I was able to go through this pretty quickly. Moving on now to eye products. I have 4 eyeliners that I used up in 2020, 3 liquid liners, the Feline Flick. This one I love. I have a couple right now, so I don't need to replace this just yet, but I would absolutely recommend this and would consider replacing it. It's so much better than the original Feline Flick, which I think I used up the year before. I hated that one. They changed it up. This one is so much better, and it lasted a really long time. I recently finished this, and I started it at the very beginning of the year, so this actually is probably worth restocking because it lasts so long. I also have a Kat Von D tattoo liner. This is really old. I think I probably finished this towards the very beginning of 2020. Because I don't even really remember using this last year. I really liked this. I would absolutely replace it. I think the brand is now KVD. So I know this is old because it still says Kat Von D on it. But I really like the tattoo liner. It's very black, really easy to apply, and incredibly long lasting. And then I have the Signature de Chanel. I liked this, and then at some point it started bleeding on me, and I finished it, but I never really loved it after that. Depending on what eyeshadow I was wearing for the day, if I had a lot of eyeshadow on, it just clung to the eyeshadow and it went on smooth and it would be fine. But if I had minimal eyeshadow, this would sometimes bleed. And it was almost too thin, too wet, and I could see it just getting in all of the little creases and all of the little crevices of my eye. There are so many better liquid eyeliners and so many better eyeliners from Chanel. I wouldn't recommend the Signature de Chanel. I'm not going to replace this. I also managed to finish the L'Estilo Waterproof Bronze Foley eyeliner. This is from Lancome. Just a really nice gold eyeliner for the waterline. Really pretty. I think this was limited edition a couple summers ago and I finally finished it. Now I'm using the Brunagapi eyeliner from Chanel. That one is almost done. But I like to have something like this, a copper, bronze, deep antique gold, something like that in the waterline. It's a little bit softer than black or even a dark brown. So I was using this basically every single day. I love it. I would replace it, but it was limited edition. I have a handful of brow products here to talk about. Brow pencils are another one of those products that you know you're constantly going to be going through them. You use them every single day, or at least I do. So anytime I can get a good deal, it's something that I'm always on the lookout for. But this one is the standout for me. This is the Benefit Precisely My Brow. I picked up several of these on sale. They had a duo during the Sephora sale. Going forward, I will probably only use the Precisely My Brow Pencil from Benefit. It's just my favorite out of all of them. So there's really no reason for me to replace any of these. I highly recommend this. I have 3. I'm currently using another one. This is shade 4. I think I'm using 3.5 or 3.75, but then I have a little duo pack of the shade 4. It's amazing. It is so much better than any other brow pencil because it's not overly waxy. Of course, this one's empty, so I can't show you. It's not overly waxy. It's very small. Doesn't break easily, but you can really create those hair-like strokes. It's so easy and it's really pigmented. It works fast, but it shows up beautifully on the brow. So I love that one. Here I have the Plume Hair and Lash Science Nourish and Define Brow Pencil. This one is really nice, and I like Plume products. Everything is supposed to have peptides. It's supposed to boost your brows. I liked the shade. It's just not something that I'm going to replace. Here I have the Brow Master from Bare Minerals. I think I had one good shade, one bad one. This is shade Coffee. This one was probably okay, but I can already tell the tip is a little bit thicker than the Precisely My Brow pencil, so it's going to be harder to get precision. Here I have a Brow Wiz, I'm not going to replace that anymore, and then I also have this Billion Dollar Brows pencil. I liked this, but kind of the same thing as this Brow Master from Bare Minerals. The point isn't small enough, so you can't get that precision. These strokes end up going on really thick, and that's when you get those boxy brows. It doesn't really look like individual hairs, which I prefer. And then the last thing for makeup, I only have 3 empty mascaras. I think that's because I have so many open. I really need to go through those first. I'm going to make it a point to not open any new mascaras, not try any other mascaras. But I do have some of my favorites here. So this is the Dior Show Blackout from Dior. I love this mascara. Eventually, I would replace this. I definitely recommend it. I just won't be replacing it anytime soon because I don't need to. Here I have the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Lashes. I love this mascara. This is my favorite of all of the Charlotte Tilburys. I think I might like it even more than the new Pillow Talk Push-Up Mascara. I need to keep playing around with it. I really like that one as well. This one I think is better for volume. The Pillow Talk is nice for length separation because it has more of a comb brush, but this one is great for those big bushy lashes. And then here I have the Chanel Revolution de Chanel. So this is the fancy Le Volume. I like this. I prefer the original Le Volume. This brush is a little bit too big and bulky. Yes, you get volume, but it's a little bit trickier to apply to the bottom lashes. Next up, I'm going to go through all of my skincare empties, starting with a lash tie-in since we ended with mascara. Here I have the Babe Lash Essential Serum, and I also have this mini New Lash Enhancing Serum. I like both. I don't think I've ever tried a lash serum that I wasn't happy with, that didn't work for me. I'm currently using Babe Lash, so I replaced this with this, and I'm currently using a full one. I love this. This has completely changed my lashes. They're so luscious, full, they're stronger, longer. Everything about my lashes looks so much better because of Babe Lash. I want to say this is more cost effective as well, and I do have a coupon code. I always link this down below since this is what I'm always using. For skincare, cleanser is my #1 item. I have so many cleanser empties here, and really I should add another one. I think I have a teeny tiny little bit of my Chanel La Mousse left, so I'm gonna save it. I can probably use it for the next 2 or 3 days, and then that's going to go in my 2021 empties. But here I have this Sulwhasoo Gentle Cleansing Oil. I loved this. Highly recommend. If I didn't already have a couple other similar options on hand, I would absolutely replace this. Who knows, I might still replace this because I really loved this cleansing oil. So this is the first step to your double cleanse. Because I wear a lot of makeup, I always have to remove my makeup before I go in with a foamy cleanser, or else I'm just going to be smearing dirt, debris, makeup all over my face, and I always have tons of leftover dirt and debris. So I really loved this one. I also went through this Eve Lom Gel Balm Cleanser. I really liked this as well. Now in terms of makeup removal, I will say I think this oil cleanser was a bit better than the balm. Both of them are nice. If you wear a full face of makeup, the oil is the way to go. I also have the Green Clean, the Makeup Melt Away Cleansing Balm, and I am missing this guy right here. This is the best cleansing balm I've ever tried. I also have this Clinique, the Take the Day Off Balm. I love this. This one is even better, and I currently have a few. I've tried the new Chantecaille, that one was sent to me. The new Glow Recipe, actually I don't know if that one's new. I also tried the Colleen Rothschild. They were all sent to me complimentary, so there is no reason for me to choose one over the other except my honest opinion. They all have great qualities, but the best for removing makeup and the way it makes your skin feel, this Pharmacy Green Clean. It's the best. So this is the step 2 cleanser. Once I went in with my makeup remover cleanser, I would go in with one of these. This first one is this Dr. Brandt Clean Biotic pH Balanced Yogurt Cleanser. I don't have a lot of really strong thoughts one way or another about this. I think it did a decent job. I liked it. I didn't necessarily love it. I don't feel like I need to replace it. Just a good cleanser. Not anything really remarkable. The Fresh Strawberry Sugar Exfoliating Face Wash. I really like this for mornings because the scent is really invigorating. It just kind of wakes up all of your senses in the morning. This does have a little bit of a microbead exfoliation. It's not really a true exfoliator. And then I also finished this Tula Probiotic Skincare Purifying Face Cleanser. This bottle looks disgusting. You can see all of the gross fingerprints from whenever I'd finished removing my makeup. Ooh, this looks disgusting. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this away. I do have 2 other exfoliators here. Now this one I did already replace and I'm almost done with my second. I'm squeezing the bottom of the tube. It's so sad because I love this, but it's pretty pricey. This is the Dr. Brandt Microdermabrasion age-defying exfoliator. I love it. You can truly feel the exfoliating power. I feel like I'm removing the top layer of dead skin. I have less breakouts, less blemishes. My skincare can penetrate deeper because it's no longer being blocked by all of the dead skin. So I love this. I'm not sure what I'm going to replace that with yet because I'm almost done with my second. Love it. Highly recommend. It's one of those things that if I ever saw it on sale, sometimes I see it marked down. That's when I would absolutely pick it up. And then I also went through the Tula So Polished Exfoliating Sugar Scrub. I really liked this one as well. I feel like this is a bit grainier. It's almost too grainy. It's a little bit too harsh. It's like sandpaper against the skin. Whereas the Dr. Brandt is a little bit finer. So yes, you can feel it working, but you don't feel like you're actually scratching the skin. I have another makeup remover here. This is the Bifacil from Lancome. I cannot tell you how many bottles of this eye makeup remover I've gone through in my lifetime, but this one was the last one I have, so now I'm currently using a YSL. It's a biphase, you have to give it a little shake. I really like that one, but this stuff is amazing. Generally, I'll wait for a gift or some sort of jumbo deal. Since I don't have any others, I will probably wait until maybe anniversary sale. I think I could probably make it another 6-7 months and then get a really good deal on this. Here's a really interesting toner I used up in 2020. It's from Rodial. It's their Glow Tonic. The Vitsy Glow Tonic. I loved this stuff, but I had no idea what it was when I first started using it. And it shocked me. So I was using this every single day, morning and night. I just thought it was a pH balancing type of toner. I didn't realize how active the ingredients were. And I felt my skin burning a couple days in, and I had no idea what it was. I thought I was having a bad reaction. Maybe it was my moisturizer. I couldn't understand why my skin was feeling so sensitive until I finally realized, oh yeah, this is kind of new. I looked at the ingredients and it said that you should only really use it 2 to 3 times a week. I was using this twice a day. I had no idea why my skin was just peeling off my face. My cells were just like jumping for freedom, trying to escape me because I had no idea what I was doing. Luckily, I figured it out, but if you're somebody who needs to exfoliate, you have post-blemish marks, dark spots, melasma, hyperpigmentation, you're really trying to do all of the chemical exfoliators. This stuff is amazing. It definitely works, but maybe only use it 2 to 3 times a week, the way it's supposed to be used. Don't use it twice a day like I was. I used up 3 serums in 2020, including 2 retinol serums that I picked up at my dermatologist's office. Pretty sure that's the only place you can get these, but of course retinol is now widely available, so you can absolutely get an over-the-counter retinol. If you're really serious, I would just go to a dermatologist near you and tell them what you're looking for. Another serum I used up entirely that I love is this Bioserum Firm from Neocutis. In my dermatologist's office, they're the ones who got me hooked on Neocutis. I purchased, I think, the eye cream from them last year. but I really love this serum. It feels amazing on your skin. This doesn't give you any harsh reaction. It's actually perfect to pair with the retinol or do one in the evening, one in the morning because it feels so nourishing. I used up 3 moisturizers in 2020, starting with the Lancer Nourish. This one is for sensitive skin. It's part of the method. So 3 steps: you exfoliate, cleanse, and then you nourish the skin. It has been such a long time since I used the polish and the cleanser. I really like those two as well. And then this was the last step. I also really like the Nourish. I also used up my CEO Glow Vitamin C Rich Hydration Cream from Sunday Riley. I was using this during the day and I really liked it. I thought it smelled great, it felt great. No complaints about this moisturizer. I don't think anything really stood out to me. I don't feel like I need to replace this. And I've heard some interesting things about Sunday Riley, the brand, so I'm not sure I'm going to spend money to restock. Even though I really liked it, what do you guys think? Do you like Sunday Riley? Sound off down below. And then I also used up this Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Pink Juice Moisturizer. This was another day cream. In fact, all of those I was really using during the day, except for the Dr. Lancer I used day and night. I would absolutely recommend this moisturizer, and I loved it so much I requested a backup, so they were so kind. They sent another bottle complimentary for me to have on hand. So as soon as I use up my current day moisturizer, I'll go back to using the Watermelon Glow. Here are all my Sunless Tanning Empties from 2020. I have 3 bottles. This is the Saint-Tropez Jumbo Self-Tan Express Mousse. I picked this up during Nordstrom anniversary sale. I think I'm on my last bottle. I usually pick this up when it's on sale because it's such a great value. $49, but it's an $88 value, and I love this mousse. I also went through 2 Loving Tans. This is the dark, and I have the ultra dark. Since I ended up swatching all of my favorite Sunless Tanners, I now know that the best shade for me is the Australian Glow. So moving forward, I just have no reason to replace these. I prefer the Australian Glow. I saw all of the shades swatched side by side. I know I get the color payoff and the shade I'm looking for. So as much as I do really like these, this is probably second place, third place. It's not first place, so why would I buy these when I could just get Australian Glow? I have a couple Haircare empties. I did not hold on to all of my shampoo and conditioner bottles, so I've gone through several different brands, several different bottles over the course of the year. But I have some styling products, including the Shield. This is the anti-humidity spray from Amika. I talk about this all the time. I have a bottle that I'm currently using. I picked this up when it's on sale during the Sephora sale. I'll definitely need to pick up probably 2 or 3 bottles during the spring sale. I'm gonna wait. If I can, I will hold off, but I love this as a hairspray alternative because it's not intended to be hairspray, it's actually intended to be a heat protector. So now I use it for both. I'll mist it on before I heat style, after I blow dry, and then I'll also mist it on after as a finishing spray, and it helps keep the hair soft, but it doesn't get frizzy. It's just really amazing. Can't live without this stuff. I go through bottles and bottles of it. I also went through the Triple Sec texture spray from Drybar. I like this. I don't really use a texture spray though. I prefer the anti-humidity spray. It just does what I need it to do. I also went through this Oribe. This is the Mystify Restyling Spray. This is also a heat protector, and I liked it. I thought it did a really nice job. I don't feel the need to replace this because I'm currently using a Pureology heat protector. I also really like the anti-humidity spray from Amika, does the same thing, so this just doesn't really have a place in my hair care routine. As much as I really liked it, I won't be restocking. That was the very last item, so we are done. Those are all of my 2020 empties. It is going to feel so satisfying to finally throw all of that trash away. And that way I can start fresh in 2021. And I do feel like I have a better grasp of the things that I'm constantly using up, things that I might have tricked myself into thinking I use, but I never really do. Those are probably the areas that I really need to rein in my spending. 2020 was sort of an odd year, but I still want to take all of those smart spending habits that I started to incorporate at the end of last year, carry them in with me to 2021. That way I'm not wasting money. I'm only purchasing things that I absolutely love or things I know I will actually use, and that way I'll get my money's worth. And I do think this is a really great exercise. So if you've never done this before, get a little box or a bag, something that is easy to stash somewhere. You decide the time frame. If you can commit to an entire year, that's great. If not, maybe 6 months, and then save all of your empties and throw them in that little box or bag. Check in at the end of the time period, 6 months, a year, and see what are the products that you actually use. You might be surprised. But thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, you found it interesting or helpful. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned, everything on my face down below in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.